brutally honest with us as you can. Austin Durrett.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Orender, I appreciate the opportunity.
Is this too tough, Austin? Is this too tough?
No, this is. I hope you say. I hope people get it. I hope I get it even more. And I'm reading Shanika, and I'm saying I'm still learning compounding, but I know what it has done to my life, my business. And to back up a little bit, Mr. Orender, and you've heard this story before, but I think it was 3 years ago. I went on a company trip, and I sat in the room and I heard the speaker talk about the multiples. And when he talked about the multiples, I don't know why. I'd heard it 1,000 times before. I heard you talk about it, but something clicked that day. It was my light bulb moment. And I remember going, you know what? We back away from multiples because they're controversial. But this company was built on controversy. I mean, years ago, and I think at some point, we saw controversy as whole life versus term. And everybody on this phone call, if you sit down with somebody who has whole life insurance, and you explain buy term and best difference, if they buck back and say, no, we feel good about our whole life, there's not a person on this call goes, okay, no, we appreciate you. I'm assuming, because we're confident in that process. No, term's way to go. Here's why we want to buy term and invest the difference in mutual funds. And you go through and they'd say, no, we feel good with our whole life. You're going to go, what are you not hearing? What do you not get? It's math. The math says buy term and invest the difference is better. It's a better way to go. We would fight for that cause. But I remember sitting there that day going, but the thing is, what leads to explosive growth is multiples, and we back away from it. So whenever we present the multiples, if we're courageous or bold enough to do so, when we present it, if they buck back, it is like, oh, no, you know what? You're right. We're not one of those things. No, yeah, you can recruit people, but they don't have to recruit people, and you don't have to recruit people. We almost start like justifying that we defending ourselves, going, no, the multiples are good, but we're not. And I remember I came home from that trip and go, that's my answer is the multiples. And I became a fanatic about the multiples. I always talk about the multiples every time I have a conversation. One of my very first conversations, Mr. Orender, I came back from that trip and I sat down with a lawyer. And I know myself, and this is self-admittance. I know myself before that trip with a lawyer. I'd have talked about broker agent. I wouldn't hit on recruiting too tough. I'd say you can recruit if you want to, but I shy away from it. Now, if you got a 19-year-old kid that you met at Walmart, you're not intimidated. Oh, you get three, you get three, you get three. So we pick and choose. Well, I came back and I saw that lawyer and I go, you know what? I will not let this man dictate how I feel about the multiples because I know the right thing to do. And my whole presentation to this guy was, listen, I'm going to build you an army. We're going to get three, who get three, who get three, who get three. I know if we get three, you get 9, 27, 81, 243, that's going to add up to 360 people. And I wrote it out, Mr. Renner, go 360 people. Half those people are going to quit. You have 180 left. We'll get half those people licensed. That's 90 licensed agents. That 90 licensed agents will pay you about 250 grand a year. Now you make 250 grand as a lawyer. You save between 2 and 250, but you're working for all you 100% of your income comes off that your own efforts. I go, I'm going to build you an army where that 100% income comes off 100 people. And he goes, okay, I'm in. He did his IBA right there. I remember that was the final moment going, people want the multiples. The people that want it, we're not sharing it. And so that day moving forward, we incorporated the multiples in our presentation. Every initial conversation, and I've had people go, that's a little aggressive, and I'm okay. I'd rather be more aggressive than too passive. Right. So I talk about every conversation. And again, brutal honesty. Our problem was we were doing the multiples. Our recruiting we did 30 people that month. I think I went to Orlando with 4 or 5 recruits, came back halfway through the month, finished with 30, started consistently recruiting 25, 30 people. We couldn't sustain it because there was a lot of non-qualified recruiting. So whenever I put those powers together, the multiples plus qualified recruiting is when our business changed. And our business changed. Now, here's what's interesting, Mr. Orender. Last year, we recruited 500 people. But in November last year, we switched presentations. And we went to a company compliant presentation. And it was in my head, I go, you know what? We're going to recruit 1,800 people this year. I want to make sure I got our ducks in a row. So I switched to a company presentation for compliance purposes. And that presentation did not have the multiples. And my recruiting flatlined for 2 months. November, December, my recruiting flatlined because I talked with the multiples. We have since then, and I thank you, Mr. Orender. When I saw the Brad Gerard conversation, I go, that's our answer. Every time we sit with somebody and close an IBA, that first conversation is what the Brad Gerard closing the multiples can get you 3, 9, 26. And I'll go through it and show what we do. But in our recruiting is, again, we'll recruit. And now here's what's awesome, Mr. Orender. I was in Cabo for 4 days with Mr. Tuttle. Left there, went straight to Oklahoma for a family trip in Oklahoma cabin. So I was gone 8 days this month. We'll recruit 50 people in the base this month. and we'll recruit 100 people through first. Oh, in which, listen, I understand there's people on this call do a lot more than that, but that is 100% the multiples. And our people bought it, and I just kept selling it and selling it. And my leaders bought off on it, and we started running a consistent message. And so I'm going to share my screen really quickly. And again, I cannot take credit for this. This is Brad Gerard, but I'm going to show you, anytime we close an IBA, guys, I walk through the cash flow quadrant. Why do I want this? Because I want them to understand this is not a job. This is not, I don't want you to be an employee. Our objective is to open a business. And I'm not going to spend time with the cash flow quadrant, guys. You guys have seen this 100 times, I'm sure. But I'll explain the business, cash flow quadrant, business owner, investor. And I'll say my objective is to take you through step by step, show you how you're an employee now, help become licensed, trained, competent, independent. When the time is right, we'll transition to open your own franchise, an actual agency. From there, we'll set up multiple agencies, okay? Now, here's the thing about opening an agency. And I'm going to jump in, and again, I'm sort of giving us the brief version of this because I want to get to the most important part, what I believe. I'll go, we're built just like real estate, okay? So if I'm a real estate broker, and Tony, you're a real estate agent, and if Tony come to me and say, listen, I want to be a broker, I want to be like you. In the traditional real estate model, Tony, I'm going to go, no, you don't want to do that. You know why? You need to keep selling homes, Tony. If you sell home, you make money. You sell home, I make money. You don't want to be a broker. You just keep selling properties. Well, I'm the broker, and I'm saying that because I don't want you to leave. In real estate, I'm going to lose my most competent, capable people. See, the difference about our model, guys, we're a broker agent franchise hybrid. My objective is to plant franchises. My objective is to open offices. So Tony, when that conversation happens, you come to me and say, Tony, I want to be a vice president, or say, Austin, I want to be a vice president. I want to open a franchise. I want to be like you. Here, I'm going to go, all right, Tony, let's do this. Let's do this, girl. And we teach you how to become a vice president. If you become a vice president, let's say you make $150,000 a year. If you make $150 a year, Tony, I'll be paid a royalty of approximately about 50 grand a year, 50,000 a year. Now, let me ask you a question, Tony. If you make 150, you're your own boss. How do you feel, Tony? Life is good. You'd be okay with that?
Yes.
Life is good. Now, if you make 150 as your own agency owner, own boss, they'll pay me about $50,000 a year royalty. How do I feel, Tony?
Great.
It's a win-win system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do we start? Where do we start, Tony? Here's our initial steps. We have what's called a game plan for success. The first thing we're going to do, Tony, is we're going to submit a background check. We've done that. Next thing, we're going to complete your credibility plan. We're going to make sure you feel good about what you're doing, know what you're doing. And then we're going to focus on getting you what's called a senior rep promotion. What is senior rep? We're going to get you and 3 agents. We're going to build you a team right away. And people ask me all the time, Tony, oh, we're already recruiting? Absolutely, because we already want you to be a business owner. Make sense? So here's your job. Your job is to find the 3 people to begin to build a business with. Okay? You'll find 3 people, then observe the building process. And again, guys, this is Brad Gerard. This is not me. This is Brad Gerard. I just took what he did. I'm like, I'm going to do it. So observe the building process, webinars, orientation, credibility classes. We have agency training and get your state license. Now, here's my job, Tony. And this is the exciting thing, Tony. Here's what I get fired up about. My job is I'm going to work with those 3 people, and I'm going to start building them a team. Here's what that looks like for you, Tony. Those 3 people identify, I'm going to take them, I'm going to turn that into 9 people. Now, guess what I'm going to do with those 9 people, Tony? The exact same thing. I'm going to get them each 3, which will be 27 people. And guess what's going to have those 27, Tony? The exact same thing. I'm going to get them 3 people, which is 81 people. Now, 3, 9, 27, 81 is going to put you 120 trainees. Are you okay with that, Tony? 120 trainees?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Now, here's reality. 30 to 40 of those people will get licensed. If 40 people get licensed, the Pareto principle says about 20% will do anything. So if you have 40 licenses, that means you'll have about 6 people submit business consistently. 6 people every week help one family. That's going to put you at about a $30,000 office, $30,000 office, which pay you $150,000 a year. And Tony, what did it all start with? 3. That is the key to everything, Tony. We're going to get you 3 people. Now, here's how we do it. Okay, Tony, I'm going to share this with you. Tony, here's what we're going to do. I want you to forget about Primerica. Don't think about it. Okay, don't think about finance. I want you to think about, Tony. Do you like sushi, Tony?
I love sushi.
Love sushi. Do you have any close friends that don't like sushi? That you know of?
I think I have a couple, but probably not.
They're probably crazy. They don't like sushi, right?
Right.
Now let's say this. Let's say, Tony, you decide you're going to open your own sushi restaurant. And 6 months ago, you go to work and listen, Tony, you start acquiring permits, you find a location, you hire a wait staff, you put everything in place to open your own sushi restaurant, and you're fired up, Tony. Okay. And check it out. Your grand opening is Friday night at 7 o'clock. I mean, you've got the ribbon, you've got the lights. It is like showtime. You're fired up about showing your sushi restaurant off. And you call me. And Tony, you and I are really good friends. Okay. We're more than just acquaintances. We're good friends. You call me and say, Austin, hey, guess what? I'm so fired up. I've been working for 6 months. My sushi restaurant's about to debut Friday night at 7 o'clock. Can you come check it out? And Tony, if we're good friends and I say, oh, Tony, here's the deal. I don't really even like sushi. How would you respond to that?
What are you, crazy, Austin? Come on. It's
No,
my
you'd say,
place. It's my new place. I just
bingo.
want you
You're
to be
gonna
part
go,
of it.
Austin, I don't care if you like sushi. Come to my grand opening, 7 o'clock. Listen, go get a glass of water, sit at the bar. All I want you to do is check out my environment, see what I got going, because you're my best friend. Now, surely you'd come support me, wouldn't you, Austin? And what am I going to say? Oh, what are you going to say? Yeah, sure. Absolutely, I'll come support you. All we're going to do, Tony, we're identify your sushi 6 and start there for the seat of your 3. So I'm asking you to do, Tony, in front of you, do me a favor. I want you to write down, if you had 6 people you're inviting to your sushi restaurant that night, write those 6 people down.
Okay.
Okay, you got them?
Got him.
Now, here's the conversation to have. Now, Sushi, or Tony, here's the thing. I need you to be coachable. Are you coachable, Tony?
Yes, sir.
I need you to be very coachable, and here's why.
Okay.
When I tell you how to connect with these people, your brain's gonna go, okay, but I'm gonna change it a little bit. Don't do that. Let me tell you a quick story. My trainer said, Austin, don't over talk. Don't say too much. And I said, yes, sir, I'm coachable. And my very first phone call is I called my best friend. And my best friend, I go, Matthew, hey, I want to come sit with you and Brittany and show you what I'm doing. And my best friend goes, yeah, absolutely, dude. I'd love to check it out. And I go, cool, let's connect on Wednesday at like 6 o'clock. And he goes, sure. And he goes, but what is it exactly, Austin? Now, if I'm coachable, Tony, I'm going to go, oh, dude, trust me, our best friend, you got to see it Wednesday night at 6. You're going to love it. I'll see you then. But unfortunately, I wasn't coachable, Tony. And my best friend goes, Austin, what is it? And I go, oh, dude, check it out. It's like finance. It's like insurance, investments, get people out of debt. My best friend goes, okay, insurance and investments, like what kind of insurance is, Austin? And I go, oh, you know, it's like a life insurance and auto insurance and, you know, home insurance. And he goes, huh, okay, Austin, let me ask this, Austin, what kind of investing? To which I replied, Tony, I go, I don't know, the good kind. I had no idea. I had no clue. My friend responds back and goes, you know what, Austin, Brittany handles our money. She's really good at finances. So I think we're okay. I think we'll pass on the meeting about what you do. We love to hang out. And Tony, I did not see my best friend for 6 months. Now, here's why I'm sharing this with you. It's very important you're coachable in this next conversation. So I'm going to ask you, Tony, I want you to text those 6 people in front of you. This conversation. Hey, I just accepted a position with an awesome company working from home. They have more part-time positions available. Are you keeping your options open? Okay. And when they respond back, now these are sushi 6. They're going to go, yes. You write back, cool. They're hosting an online webinar tonight at 12 and 7, about 25 minutes, covers the basics, what they do. Can you make one of those? I'll get in the webinar with you. If they ask you a question, Tony, and say, what is it? You say it's a national, and I'll walk them through step-by-step this conversation. So Tony, real quick, who's the first person you wrote down?
Susan.
Susan, do me a favor, send that first message to Susan. I just accepted a position. Send that first one to Susan.
Got it.
Awesome. Okay, who's the next person?
It's Londa.
And I'm going to go ahead, guys. I'm going to walk her through those first 6. Now, here's why. I want to get a big list. I want to get 25, 30 people. I just want their top people right then on a webinar next hour. If I meet with somebody and I close on at 10 o'clock, I want at least 3 of their 6 best friends on a 12 o'clock webinar I'm hosting. If I close on, this happens all the time for us, guys. We'll have somebody jump on a 12 o'clock webinar for us, or a 12 o'clock KT, however you want to do it, 12 o'clock webinar. What they do, they jump off. We close our IBA. I'm going to do my sushi 6. I've got their 6 best friends in by the webinar tonight at 7. So that person now has their 7. So I have 2 or 3 jump on at 7 o'clock. Guess what? I'm going to recruit one of those. And guess what I'm doing when I close our IBA? Their sushi 6. All I want is the multiples to start taking shape. I don't want to build them army of 1,000 people right now. I want to get them 3 as fast as I can. If I get them 3, now here's what I know. Art Williams sold people on you get 3. Well, and Mr. Orender does it. 3, who get 3, who get 3, who get 3. I sell them on the simplicity of it. If I get them 3, then I got them locked in. Then I'll do an orientation, get a bigger list from them. Here's what happens to most people, guys. And I don't want to go too long here, but I know it. I've been there. And guys, Mr. Orender says it. He took the red pill, or I'm sorry, the blue pill. He took the blue pill. You know, and it's easy to go, I took the blue pill. I used to work I was a coach, was work off my income. I've been in corporate America. I've been in sales, whatever it is. I took the wrong pill. Most people have the wrong pill in Primerica. Most people are still living on the wrong pill in Primerica. So when I came here and I realized, okay, I've got the multiples going, it changed my whole perspective. What most people do is I recruit Tony today. I go, awesome, Tony, you're gonna love this girl. Hey, when can we get your orientation knocked out or your fast start planner? And Tony says, well, I'm busy tonight. I've got, you know what, today's Tuesday. How about Friday, Austin? And most people go, yeah, sure, let's do Friday. You know why? Because there's instant gratification because you close an IBA right then. And that's a success in your head versus I don't care about the IBA. I need their 3 best friends on a webinar in an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's all about speeding the multiples going. So I hope that helps, guys. And yeah, Mr. Orender, anything else?
Wow. You know, I want to talk a little bit, go back to the ego and the pride of the blue pill. You know, something about whiz bang, boy, you're smart. You know everything about investments. Wow, this is incredible. And we don't put ourselves out there. And a concern I always have is, are you doing the best for a new person by hiding this from them? And how's that serve you? And when they come into the business, they're not going to recruit, they're not going to build, they're not going to create senior reps. Talk about how a decision has to be made, Austin, how you want the rest of your life to turn out.
Yeah, I think, and you've said this before, Mr. Orender, here's the issue. What people want in most situations doesn't require the multiples. Unfortunately, most people create a life where, hey, if I come here and become, if I'm a good financial planner, make 80, 90, 100 grand a year, I can have some things I want. And the life list, and we put that aside and say, no, I don't necessarily need that. I'll be okay. And here's what happens. People are tough. People are hard to deal with. So we get smacked in the mouth a couple times and go, you know what? I don't know if I like this feeling. I'm going to go do securities. I'm going to go become a financial planner. And in me, I'm like, I don't want that. I hope this comes around. I don't like doing the client stuff. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I just want to recruit people. I want to lead people. I want to build teams. I want to motivate people. Like, that's what got me fired up. Well, when I identified, not only is that like what I like doing, but that's what's going to give me the result I need to do, then who cares what people, I've had people in Primerica tell me, be careful with these conversations. They go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't think you appear as one of those things? Here's my answer. I'd rather appear as one of those things than some corporate America gig. You don't think you showing them it's like corporate America? That's not appealing to anybody. They're in a corporate job now they can't stand. I'd rather show them something that at least I know I feel good about, and I feel there's power behind the multiple. So yeah, I think you got to find out what you want, attach the multiples the way you're going to get that, and then heck with anybody that speaks down on it. When I sit with somebody and they go, oh, this is one of those things. Oh, I'm sorry you think that way. This may not be a good fit for you. Because I'm gonna go build an army. And I'm gonna get 3 who get 3 who get 3. Now, one of those things, not at all. But I'm not gonna sit here and spend 30 minutes justifying we're not. It's the best way, it's the most efficient, effective way to build a business is me get you 3 people who get 3 who get 3. If you don't want it, that's okay. That's how I'm gonna run my business. So I think when you start staying your ground going, this is what I want, it's gonna take, who cares what other people think about it?
Well, talk about it for a second, Austin, that if you're not putting new people in at least double digits, you're really not going to get any compounding, and you're going to be a lone ranger for the rest of your life. You've taken the blue pill. You're just afraid to admit it, that you and I have taken the red pill. And again, I don't want to dwell on why people aren't doing something. Why are you doing this? Why have you converted over to the red pill and 1% off 100 and the multiples? What changed in you?
2 things. One is a very simple thing. I don't like being in the field. Full transparency. I don't like running appointments. You said it years ago, Mr. Orender, and I pride myself in hard work, but I also want to be lazy. I don't want to go meet with people all the time. So I know I had to create a system that's going to give me the way to get the freedom the fastest. And here's what I realized. I can get the freedom the fastest by getting people. Because I get people, they've got incentive to stick around and go to work, do what they need to do. So it keeps them locked in. The only way I get people is talking about the multiples consistently. And I go, and I know it's all about driving depth. I want to lock that person in, boom, 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 boom. But I want to keep them sold out and getting 3. If they get 3, then they can see compound happen. So the first thing was I want to be lazy. Next thing, I've got massive goals. I mean, I said this a few weeks ago. I want to make $3 million a year. And in my head, it's crazy. And it's not possible for me, but it's possible with multiples. If I get enough people who get people, right now it's 1208, Mr. Orender, and I don't know the numbers. We probably have 40 people in webinar right now, probably 25 guests in webinar right now that I've got nothing to do with. But I've got people who've got people in that webinar, who've got people in that webinar. So I just knew if I had a system where I was getting people, got people, it would give me freedom, which is what I want. I came here because two things. I wanted to be somebody so dang bad. And I realized big guys in the company, they have massive armies built. Listen, I understand guys across $1 million doing securities. I ain't that smart. That people are like, did you watch the ticker symbol? I couldn't even tell you what those dang things mean. I don't want to know what they mean. I want 1,000 people that know what that means. So I was sold out on getting people and leading people, Mr. Render.
In the last year, you've got recruited 500 people in your base. How many studs have come from that so far? That you are future double-digit, if not currently double-digit recruiting organizations.
Yeah, we've got 8 people right now selling every month double-digit recruiting. And the piston theory, out of 8, we'll probably have. Actually, I'm gonna back up with our VPs, because those VPs came out of that. Probably 12 to 15 people are sold out every month. Now, out of the 12 to 15, the piston theory, we may have 7 do it a month, 6 to 7. So I know the concept, you get 3 double-digit recruiting teams, you'll do 50 in your base. I know I want to keep my base at least 3 double-digit recruiting teams, and my RVPs are doing the same thing, getting theirs built up.
Well, how much? What's your override income on a monthly basis?
Override probably 12 to 15.
But again,
I used to bring home $2,300 a month. I used to bring home
a consistent 12 to 15,000 guaranteed because you took the red pill.
And here's the thing, Mr. Render, and I say that my trainer, I love him to death. Jeremiah Diamond changed my life. I will never speak ill. Jeremiah changed my life. I am so grateful. Jeremiah made $400,000 off of a trade last year. I can't do that. That's not who I am. And here's awesome though. And I've told Jeremiah that Jeremiah's gonna do the same thing this year. If he wants to maintain the income, he's got to find a big trade like that. And I don't want to go hunt for trades like that. So I know if he keeps finding those trades and I keep finding people, I will win. And I'm not speaking down to Jeremiah. It's the math. I will win at some point. I'll beat him. I just know it.
You got about 10 or 12 people that came out of last year's recruiting class. How many directs? Of the 10 to 12, how many are directs?
Golly, Mr. Render. Not many. I mean, one thing, and you said it, every month I'm responsible for 10. So I may have 1 to 2 directs a month, 2 to 3 directs a month that I'll build them teams. Not many. I mean, 4 of them maybe. A lot of it's through depth.
That's the point I'm trying to make, is that it's all down below. I mean, it's not the recruit you got, it's how deep do you take them. How obsessed is your team with 4 deep and taking?
We talk about it all the time. Our conversations are always multiple, trying people 4 deep. If we do recruiting trainings, we're doing tonight in our training. It is based off AOM's way and locker room notes. Those are our sources. It's so easy, guys. And again, I thank you, Mr. Render. It's so easy to get so many mixed signals and different messages. And man, I need to go find this guy and this guy in California is doing this, guys in Florida doing this. I don't know what they're doing. I know what Art Williams says. And when I bought off and I understood Art Williams' message, that's what we preach. I want to keep a consistent message.
You know, like Rose Pittman said, I love what she said. You can be a fan of or a follower of. How does it feel to be a follower of, and when you used to be a fan of?
Oh, it feels great. I love it. And you know what? It's just like drawing lines in the sand. You know, I'm trying to think of. It's like being a Christian. Just an example. It's like being a Christian. Hey, listen. When you believe what you believe, if you don't, I'm not gonna tell you you're terrible for not a Christian. But I'm not gonna change my belief who I am, based on you disagreeing with it. Same concept. I know what I believe. I believe in multiples. I believe in A.O. I believe in this thing. If you disagree with it, that's okay. You be you. But I'm gonna be me. And there's just a new confidence that comes with it, I think.
And how does it feel knowing that this year you recruit 1,800 people, and you used to struggle to double digit?
Oh yeah, listen, and if nobody knows my story, I was a guy came in, I was a referral guru. I'd get referrals, go write business. I'd write $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, personal premium. I'd get one recruit that was, sometimes I usually just fell into them accidentally. And then I started going, okay, I remember going, if I can never figure out how to recruit 3, if I can never figure out how to recruit 5, like, man, could you imagine recruiting 10 people in 1 month? Like, that's mind blowing to me. But man, once you get a taste of it, it's just, Yeah, it's a lot more fun when you have a lot of people.
Yeah, I'll let you go on this. You said a second ago that you are committed to being involved with 10 recruits a month coming. And Omar said that's what he did. Mario's, that's what he did. That's what I did. That's what James Watkin did. On and on and on and on and on. And until people personally take responsibility to double digit, they're just fans of, and they don't really get it, and they'll never have out of life what you'll have.
Yeah, one thing we do, Mr. Orender, every morning, and our key people, every morning we meet at 9 o'clock, and the conversation we have is how many have you been responsible for? Truthfully, Mr. Orender, I don't care if you double digited. I want to know how many you've been responsible for. Because you can be a regional leader responsible for 1. If you got a division leader then 10, don't deceive yourself in thinking you can still get 10. So I don't know how many of you been responsible for this month, because if you get 10 consistently every month, you're doing 10, somebody's gonna come off that and see what you're doing to do the same thing. I've got 2 regional leaders this month that legitimately both could do 25 to 30 recruits. Well, they're both independently involved in getting 10 themselves. And they've got people on their teams that are doing the same thing because they see our regional leaders do it. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is I want to double digit, but I want to make sure they're involved in 10 touches themselves.
Isn't it a comment on this? Nice to know, and you're never going to retreat. And it's not the flavor of the day or what are they doing? Didn't it wear you out? Now that you know, you can go about your life, right?
One of my most favorite conversations, Mr. Orender, and he's an incredible guy. I'm not going to say his name because I love him to death. He's helped me so much. I had a wholesaler call me going, hey, let's connect. And for years, I'd take these meetings. Okay, let me find out more about this product and this. And I remember when I made a decision, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a recruiter. And you said, Mr. Orender, you said, stop taking meetings with it. Stop meeting with these wholesalers. You know, there should be a Primerica recruiting wholesaler. And I remember there was this short season where I'm like, you know what? He'd call and go, hey, can we meet? And I go, you know what? I'm just busy right now. And I remember when I had the defining moment, going, you know what? Heck, I ain't apologize about this anymore. And I remember the first phone call, he goes, hey, let's connect. I go, I can't. Here's the deal. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a recruiter. And let's go sit and talk about recruiting. This conversation is not gonna be for me. And he's like, oh, okay. I go, but listen, I'll connect you with some of my people. I'll be happy to connect with some of my people. But as far as me, I will talk about recruiting. And it was a defining moment, the decision made that, so I'd encourage anybody, if you're on this call and you feel like you're flat and stuck and busted and disgusted, man, make a dang decision and get all the clutter and move it out and go be a recruiter. Your job is to recruit. That's what your job is, nothing else.
And aren't you proud of that? Aren't you proud to let people know you've got a way out for them? You've got the red pill, and you're proud of it, and you want them to have the red pill because you know what a devastating life the blue pill brings.
And and it's so attractive to people. And I get excited about it because again, defining moment. I recruited a guy 2-3 years ago. I'm sorry, this is before I made the multiple switch. Sharp guy. You say sharp guys, like at that time you think he's sharp. You went to the Baylor, whatever it is. I learned now those guys are duds a lot of times. But recruit this guy, and I'm talking about getting this bonus. Let's help clients. Let's get some premium. And I remember he leaves the training. And he goes, Austin. He goes, man, I'm like listening to this training. Why? I feel like it'd be easier just to go build a team. Like I know we're trying to find premium, and I go, oh my gosh. Well, if you present something partially, they ain't gonna catch it. Like, so I told this guy, let's build your team, let's get some premium. Because I was split, divided, hey, let's get recruits and premium. Because I was split, people are gonna gravitate to the client side. They wanna be the building team side. Well, so I was pushing them inadvertently, I was pushing them toward the client side. When he said that, I remember going, and I've messed this guy up. And that was my first chance of going, you know what? I gotta work on me. I gotta work on my conversations. What am I presenting to people? And I started selling to recruiting and let's build your team. And again, you'll turn some off. I'm okay with that. You have people come in. I don't think I'm gonna do the recruiting thing. Ain't no problem. I got a guy for you. I got a trainer who's gonna be awesome for you. Take them. I just can't spend my time in that zone. I'm a recruiter for our business.
Well, Austin, how do you feel about most of the people on this call who are not going to hear it? They took the blue pill. They don't know they took it, and they think they took the red pill. And get a final message of hope for them, that if they say, I want to be a recruiter and a builder, I want to be another Shanika and another Austin, another Miguel and Indiana, Mancias, and all of us. What do you have to say in a final word, please?
You know, it's almost, you know, not to be overly dramatic, it's almost heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because you're just missing out on so much. You know,
You're right.
I've said this before. When I was coaching college basketball, I had a baseball coach. He goes, listen, he goes, Austin, freshmen don't know they don't know. Sophomores know they don't know. Juniors don't know they know. And seniors know they know. Well, freshmen come out and have a big year, and they do great things and have a dip in their sophomore year. Why? Because they started overthinking. Make sense? Well, then they understood the system, understand, but they didn't utilize what they knew. You know, eventually when they're a senior, it came back up because they knew they knew. And that may not make sense, guys, but it applies to multiples also. Don't overthink it. We have to like, how do I present this in a perfect method? We're done to appear like one of those things. Stop overthinking it. Man, just sell a message. Go get 3. It's a simple thing. Get you 3 who get them 3 who get them 3. We'll build your army and our lives will change. And so I think we just present it what it is. And again, I hope anybody's encouraged today to, man, make the transition, because I've been there. This is a lonely business if you're not doing it the right way.
You know, in my part of my presentations, when I got that call, I called one of my RVPs. I'm with a client. I'll call you back. My heart broke. And, you know, Mike Tuttle, God bless him. He does not want to be in sales. That's not why he came here. He came here to build an army of RVPs who have RVPs who have RVPs. And you have to turn your back forever on sales, don't you? And go in a different direction, don't you, Austin?
Absolutely. Because listen, it's easy. The Primera crack, as we've ever heard, it's like, it's easy to go, well, I gotta make money, and go focus on clients. And then you go, you know what? I made some money. I'm gonna go build an army. I'm gonna go recruit, and I can't figure out. You gotta make a commitment, go for it. And we were in the van in Cabo, Mr. Orender, and Mr. Tuttle's sitting there, and we had another family with us, and he was sitting with his arm with this little girl, and he goes, you know what, Austin? Most people will never get the multiples. They never get it. And I was like, oh, I know. So you have guys like Mr. Tuttle and Mr. Orender, and these guys have done these things that talk about the multiples, but then we run back to our little hole and go, okay, don't talk about it too much. You know what it is? People are comfortable talking about it in front of Primericans. We're confident in front of Primericans talking about, but when we get outside of our little bubble, ooh, careful. Man, you just gotta make a decision. Man, just go for it. Start talking to everybody about the multiples, and I'm telling you, your business will change.
You know, one of the things I've concluded, there's too much pride that people have. They don't have anything to be proud of, but their pride keeps them from working the multiples because they didn't do it. No one looks at me as being smart. Everyone looks at me and saying, well, Bill Orender is the only reason because of the multiples. That's why Bill Orender's where he is. Remember I showed you that $10,000 in a mutual fund at 12%? Smart people hate dumb people who know the power of the rule of 72. Because when I'm smart, no, it doesn't make a difference. It works for anybody, smart or dumb. And it doesn't take any talent, doesn't take any skill. It just takes desire to have the multiples work for you. And if you're not double digiting, you defaulted to a lower position in life that I'm a blue pill worker kind of person, and you know, I get my kicks from making sales. Well, not when you're 50 years old and still having to go see clients and getting the phone calls from old clients. You're not making any money on them anymore, but you got to spend 2, 3, 4 hours a day hand holding. No, thank you. If I call you, I don't want to hear I'm with a client. I want to hear I'm on a Zoom with 10 people recruiting them. That's what I want to hear. And eventually I'm on the phone Zoom with my 10 RVPs. Then I'm on a phone with what? My 200, 300, 400 RVPs. Then I'm down in Cabo San Lucas enjoying my life. And I've got thousands of people out there who are licensed, making sales, recruiting people and creating RVPs. And I don't know what I'm doing. Does anybody not know what he's doing more than Mike Tuttle?
That's right. You don't have a clue.
And you know what? I don't either. I don't want to know. I know how to get 3 who get 3 who get 3 who get 3. Austin was brilliant. Thank you very much, Leo. Double digit recruit, folks. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mr. Orender.